Hey everyone, welcome to Conversations with Azu, the Vitality and More podcast. It's always a pleasure to share this space with you all. I am the founder of Vitality and More and author of Follow Your Heart. This podcast is about connecting real conversations around wholeness and wellness. I share my wisdom around topics that will inspire you to hopefully make an inward journey. Be curious, follow your heart to purposeful living, and find abundance within. My purpose is to create healthy, practical, and authentic conversations here so that you too can make an inward journey and fill your cup with things that don't always get spoken about. Episode 19 is quite a big one, I feel, because in one way or another, we've all struggled with this. Positive language. How do you talk to yourself? How do you talk to others? Is it with love and positivity, or is it through fear and negativity? First things first, let's talk about positive self-talk. Okay, so we are taught to praise our children, to speak positively to them when they are in the womb, when they arrive into the world, and continue this as they grow and become little humans. That's a given. And so you would hope that you've taught them, or let's say instilled in them, enough positive talk so that they can speak positively to themselves and to others. But here's the thing, somewhere along the line, this gets lost, whether it's when we start school, through the education system, through school friendships or bullies, teachers. And I'm not suggesting for 1 minute that schools don't encourage positive language, or even later on, perhaps, when we're entering the workforce or other journeys in life. And we find things difficult. We find things challenging. And so we get into a different narrative, perhaps, and lose the positive self-talk and start to self-hate or self-loathe. And I know these are strong words, so please let me elaborate. As adults, we have a lot of pressure in life, right? Pressure to look a certain way, pressure to conform to what everyone else is doing, if that's your thing, pressure to perform, pressure to be productive, and the list goes on and on. These pressures can lead to us not speaking so positively to ourselves and then to others. These pressures build up and we start to doubt ourselves. We start to question and put ourselves down if we haven't secured that right partner, that right job, that right project, that right whatever it is for you. When self-doubt creeps in, we lose our way. We lose the ability to see things positively and speak positively, especially to ourselves. We put ourselves down a lot and we respond to people, relationships, and things in a reactive way and become forced to speak and act in a fight or flight mode. This is not positive language or self-talk. This is fear. This is negative and not healthy for our soul. So, negative self-talk, you may be wondering, how do we get it? We get it as kids. We're all from birth to the age of 7 conditioned by our parents, our carers, our educators, society. Our programming and foundations through positive or negative language is set very early on. So, for instance, if you grew up in an environment that was loving and nurturing with only positive talk, then you will engage in that type of talk to yourself and others in life because that's how you were raised and conditioned. On the flip side, if you were raised in the not so fortunate environment, not so loving or nurturing, and with a lot of negative language, then unfortunately, these are the foundations that have been set for you. So you could be right now wondering, now that makes a lot of sense. That is perhaps the reason why I have a negative outlook on this or that. Because each time something came up, your parents or carers were negative in their language, which taught you about negative thinking and negative language. And so that became your default mode. But here's the thing, my friends, it's not all doom and gloom. Just because you were raised that way doesn't mean that you must carry on that way and speak negatively to yourself and others around you. You can change. You can turn the negative language and turn it into positive language and loving language. Yes, it's hard sometimes. And if you're really deeply affected by some childhood issues around negative language, then perhaps some intervention or help is necessary through a trained therapist or healer to help guide us and get us through these things. Positive language is the language of love. There's no doubt about it. When we speak with positive affirmations to ourselves, to our loved ones, to the world at large, we are engaging in an act of love. It just feels good. Love is energy. It is a vibration and who we truly are. When we act from love, speak from love, we feel immense love for ourselves and others. That's just how it works. So I invite you to swap your language to that of positivity, to that of love, to that of compassion and kindness, and see how that feels. It feels good, right? When we can understand how we are in control of our lives, our energy, our future, through our actions, through our language, through our behaviors, it is then that we can truly be connected to our hearts and take the reins to have the life that we have always desired. As always, I invite you to step into your power. Step out of your mind and step into your heart. Your heart carries all the answers for life, for happiness, for sadness, for growth, for health, for abundance, for the way we speak to ourselves and each other. Tune into your heart. Use the positive language that uplifts you, that expands you, that allows you to connect with your inner soul, your intuition, your energy. When we can fully step into who we are, having that total awareness, self-worth, self-trust, and self-understanding through positive language, we can live life differently. We can live on our terms. We can remove the old stories in our head, the negative language, the limiting beliefs that we've carried around for so long. Be the change. Break those chains that you've been carrying and move into your future with more love, more positive language, more self-care, more self-worth and self-confidence. Don't be afraid to shine your light and share your experience through a different lens. This is your time, your life. Make a commitment to give it all you have and speak loving words to yourself. A practice I like to use daily is mirror talk. So, have you heard about mirror talk before and how it works? Now, mirror talk is a type of self-help tool that involves you talking to yourself simply in the mirror, often using positive language and mostly affirmations. Now, this practice is one you can improve self-esteem and foster a deeper connection with yourself. Regular mirror talk can be beneficial for enhancing self-worth, regulating your nervous system, bringing about positive language, self-care, self-love, self-awareness, and more. It's a bit like gratitude and thankfulness. You know, the more appreciation and gratitude you have, the more you will receive. So the more positive language you use through mirror talk and affirmations, the more elevated and positive, happier you will feel. Some examples of affirmations you can use first thing in the morning are these. Now, look deeply into your eyes in the mirror and say this: I believe in my abilities and myself. I am confident. I am worthy. I am beautiful. I am healthy. I am enough. I can face this day with strength. Today is a beautiful day. I love my life. I let go of my fears. I'm using positive language today. That's just some of the ones that I like to practice. I promise you that when you begin to practice mirror talk daily, you will feel better about yourself and use more positive language daily. I love to do it each day. And you know what? Change up the positive affirmations or use the same ones if that feels good and right for you. The more you use them, practice them, and speak to yourself in the mirror through positive language, the more you expand and step into your true power. So, as you can see, there are many ways that we can change our language to that of a more positive one. The late Dr Emoto was a Japanese author and pseudoscientist. He wrote several books: The Hidden Messages in Water, Water Knows the Answers, The Miracle of Water, The Secret of Water, The True Power of Water, just to name a few. I've studied his book, The True Power of Water, and can also quite confidently confirm that this is real, guys. If you're into energy work, and I know you must be because that's why you've tuned into my podcast, then you will also see how amazing his work truly is and reflect it back to your own life. He writes about how human consciousness and energy affects the molecules and structure of water. Now that's super amazing, right? You may be wondering why I'm talking about his work. Well, because Dr. Emoto's famous work around water crystal experiments shows us how human thoughts, words, and intentions can influence the physical structure of water. Positive words and intentions like love and thank you resulted in beautiful crystals forming, while negative words and language produced distorted patterns. Now, that's incredible. So, what this means is that our language has a direct effect on our lives, on our health, on Mother Earth, on everything. I encourage you to pick up one of his books and have a read. It's really a great way to educate yourself and perhaps change the way you speak to yourself, to others, and to the world at large. It's the same as when you hear gardeners speak about growing flowers, plants, and food. Again, I can validate this one as I live on a farm and we grow our own food from our own seeds. And it's truly fascinating to see when we put in loving energy, words, and intention into the seeds we sow, how the produce is grown and so abundant. Similarly, if you're engaging in positive language or thoughts in the kitchen when baking or cooking, then this will be transmitted through to your plate. But the reverse is also true. Have you ever baked something and it hasn't quite turned out? Or the dinner you were cooking for your family just tasted bland and awful and didn't work? This is 100% caused from your energy, your thoughts, your actions, your language around the food you were preparing. And if you think I'm talking nonsense, then do a little experiment yourself. Try positive language before you bake something and watch it flourish and rise. Try negative language before you bake something and watch it diminish and do quite the opposite. It's just the universal law of attraction. Just like Dr. Emoto exposed water to love, to classical soft music, to happy images, the water was frozen and then formed beautiful crystals. And the ones that were exposed to negative stimulus, negative words, and heavy metal music, well, no offense, guys, but that water was frozen also and produced distorted crystals. It's just incredible. Something to have a think about, I guess. Positive language, self-talk really affects us and life in many ways, sometimes ways that we can't even put into words. As I've spoken about here before, real transformation always begins from the inside out. The more we communicate and connect with our intuitive abilities, with our hearts, the more we can connect deeper and see how everything we do or don't do influences how we live. Today, I invite you to lean into loving language. Lean into positive affirmations and positive talk. It's not hard. It's just a practice. It requires a little focus and intention at first, but once you change that daily language to one of positivity, kindness, compassion, love, gratitude, it will continue to flood your heart. Speak with love. And if it's not love, then try and reframe it in a way that is still positive. Now, let's conclude today with setting a new intention, a new narrative that you can use positive language daily and you can be optimistic and full of love and abundance. Focus on what can be done rather than dwelling on limitations or negativity, because that also affects your language. Focus on solutions and uplifting others to more positive and loving language. Use positive affirmations daily. Do the mirror work and really speak to your soul for more self-care, for more self-love and self-worth and self-reflection to integrate. Like everything, it's a journey and it's your journey. It's up to you how you want the path to show up for you. Choose either loving kindness through language and positive talk, or choose negativity and fear that will continue to keep your vibration low. I know which path I'm choosing. Now, that's a wrap for today. Please leave me a comment, rate or subscribe to the show, and let's keep the conversation growing. Every star rating or download will help someone else find my show and tune in. For that, I thank you deeply from my heart. Thanks for tuning in today. Continue to work on yourself and start the journey to a life filled with greater expansion, wholeness, awareness, and well-being. and keep tuning into your beautiful heart. Until next time, sending you loads of love. Namaste, friends.